February 2018 stands at the moment internet censorship and heavy suppression of alternative voices, questioning the mainstream narrative, kicked into gear. The catalyst for the social media clampdown coincided with the Florida Parkland school shooting, which tragically occurred on the 14th of February 2018. Shortly after, certain individuals, alternative organisations, questioned the mainstream narrative of the incident. Many YouTube channels were swiftly met with a ban for alleged hate speech and bullying. Censorship has happened on a range of topics, which mainstream voices would label conspiracy. A good example would include the QAnon phenomenon, which is considered to be an output of continuing US military intelligence in the ongoing fight against the deep state. It can be argued a forceful operation has been rolled out to curtail independent media voices. For the majority, the censorship is centered around the Google-owned video platform YouTube, but the crackdown has also affected similar platforms such as Twitter and Facebook, with users being given bans of 2 weeks, 30 days, and even a lifetime ban. The wide-scale censorship event has been loosely dubbed the YouTube Purge. On the subject of freedom of expression, New York YouTuber Casey Neistat released an interview with Chief Business Officer of YouTube, Robert Kyncl, filmed at the beginning of February 2018. This was a couple of weeks before the censorship reached its peak. In the interview, Kyncl very clearly defined YouTube's policy concerning free speech.
Sure. So I'm Robert Kyncl, I'm Chief Business Officer of YouTube. And in my day-to-day job, I'm responsible for all of the YouTube creators and content partners who are making their living on YouTube and creating amazing audiences. So all of your problems are my problems. All of your wins are my wins. So we are tied at the hips, and I just love what I do.
So I invite you to now just kind of use this platform as a way to tell all of us creators in the community what matters to you. What do you stand for, and what is next for YouTube as a platform?
Sure. So what we stand for is really 4 freedoms: freedom of opportunity, anybody to make a living on YouTube, bring revenue from the entire world, and there are many wonderful examples. Freedom of speech, as important as ever. Freedom of information, accessing it. I grew up in a communist country, in Czechoslovakia, behind the Iron Curtain. It's really important, the openness and freedom of speech and freedom of information is really important to me, and that is why I love what I do. And then the 4th one is freedom to belong. People creating communities on YouTube that they can feel like they can share a bit more with, that they may not have in person somewhere else, but on YouTube they do. So we have these 4 core freedoms that we truly care about.
YouTube operates on a strike system for copyright infringement and community guidelines. If a channel exceeds 4 strikes in either category, the channel is taken offline. Some individuals with no violations were given 4 strikes over a short period of time. YouTube even factored in old videos uploaded retrospectively. A very useful Reddit thread noting the censorship violations has documented over 70 channel takedowns. Some channels were affected included The Health Ranger, Alex Jones, David Seaman, Richie Allen, Destroying the Illusion, just to name a few. A highly popular subreddit thread for the QAnon disclosures and other intelligence surrounding the alleged storm, named CBTS_stream, has been banned. On the 16th of March, Reddit has alleged the thread encourages or incites violence, directly violating their content policy. Is there a light at the end of the tunnel away from this draconian suppression of free speech? Jordan Sather's Destroying the Illusion YouTube channel was reinstated on Friday, the 16th of March. Jerome Corsi's deleted channel was also reactivated, but minus his archive of previous recorded material. This reversal was after alleged pressure from the White House. The unusual governmental intervention could be in connection with Corsi's work involving the QAnon disclosures. The Richie from Boston channel ban was also overturned after he solicited his lawyers to contact YouTube to prove the reasons behind the ban. So why has this happened? In respect to YouTube, it was reported on Bloomberg on the 28th of February, Google admitted a freshly hired team of 10,000 new video moderators had mistakenly taken down some videos and channels offline, although they officially stated they wouldn't be drawn in discussing individual cases. The TheQuartering channel alleges to have some inside knowledge over why this intense period of censorship has occurred. A video posted on the 1st of March explored how Google targeted conservative-leaning channels, along with what he calls tinfoil content. He realised the G word relating to firearms was specifically targeted by Google's listening technology. He alleges new algorithm search technology has been switched on. They allegedly call it YouTube approved science, structured to operate as an automated flagging system. If content is flagged, videos are purposefully buried in the search results, and so is more likely to be given community or copyright strikes. This anecdotal explanation maybe tallies with the story compiled by exopolitics specialist Dr. Michael Saller called Hate Speech Initiative, a Trojan Horse for AI Takeover of Humanity. In the article, he highlights comments made by Elon Musk and Stephen Hawking, who consider AI to be one of humanity's largest threats. Saller writes, we could very easily end up in a dystopian future where different forms of AI are used to monitor and regulate human behaviour in egregious ways, and any humans protesting or warning what the AI system is doing would be censored for hate speech. Censorship over the last couple of years has been steadily increasing. The precursor to this suppression was the practice of shadow banning. The technique was employed effectively to hide content from followers, subscribers, and other users. Originally, the technology was created to halt the spread of spam, hindering professional spammers from continually creating new profiles. But this technology is now unfortunately being morphed into a tool of suppression. This practice was heavily investigated by Project Veritas. They were covertly able to capture a Twitter software engineer to admit to the practice whilst being filmed by a hidden camera.
One strategy is to shadow ban so that you have ultimate control. The idea of the shadow ban is that you ban someone but they don't know they've been banned because they keep posting but no one sees their content. So they just think that no one's engaging with their content when in reality no one's seeing it.
The growth and development of social media and its importance in modern society has maybe always been influenced by the intelligence community. An article featured on medium.com dated the 22nd of January 2015 documents a crowdfunding investigative journalism project called Insurge-Intelligence. The investigation explored how the United States intelligence community funded, nurtured, and incubated Google as part of a drive to dominate the world's online social interactions and the flow of information. Seed funded by the NSA and CIA, Google was merely the first among a plethora of private sector startups co-opted by the US intelligence to retain information superiority. A highly recommended video produced by the Corbett Report, titled The Weaponization of Social Media, explores a brief history of the intelligence community's meddling in social media. He highlights the recent public statements made by former Facebook president Sean Parker and other executives who have warned against the negative effects of social media to us all. The US government, Department of Defense, and DARPA have all published papers explaining how social media platforms should be used as an arena to subvert and manipulate public opinion. In the video, Corbett exposes how the Pentagon contracted an organisation called Intrepid to develop software for military operators to create and control fake social network personas. Officially, they weren't allowed to use the software on US citizens. Its implementation was directed towards Arabic, Persian, and Urdu-speaking countries. The UK's GCHQ, the equivalent of the NSA, has published its own investigations on the subject, with a document called The Art of Deception, training for a new generation of online covert operations. Within the paper, they discuss building cyber magicians, trained specifically to deceive, manipulate, and prime internet communities. So are there any alternatives to the usual dominant social networks? In the spirit of free speech, other networks have been seeded into the online world. New platforms recently launched include BitChute, D.TUBE, STEEMIT, and Gab. David Seaman has been banned for life from many of the major media platforms. These new networks allow him and his organisation Fulcrum News to carry on. But the loss of alternative voices from mainstream platforms means there will be inevitably less people exposed to alternative ways of seeing the world. The majority of the internet using population could view these products as being too niche or alternative for them. It may be hard for them to deviate away from the already well-established social networks. The late President JFK elegantly summarises the importance of freedom to express and challenge the status quo. If this nation is to be wise as well as strong, if we are to achieve our destiny, then we need more new ideas, for more wise men reading more good books in more public libraries. These libraries should be open to all, except the censor. We must know all the facts and hear all the alternatives and listen to all the criticisms, let us welcome controversial books and controversial authors, for the Bill of Rights is the guardian of our security as well as our liberty.